Welcome to this episode of Tommy Safe and Scratch Made, where we are doing Katie Lee's Logan County hamburgers. They are gluten-free, dairy-free, low FODMAP, and low sugar, and they are delicious. Let's start out here with our ingredients and the utensils we're going to use. We got some ground beef, phenomenal ground beef. If you can afford it, we got it for free. Some Roma tomatoes, some gluten-free heritage-style honey white bread, nice hearty bread, our gluten-free butter, which means no knife has touched regular bread and then touched that butter, our garlic powder, our chili powder, our superfine mustard, and our smoked paprika. Now, to move on to the utensils. Now, we have our mixing bowl, our freshly cleaned cutting board, our cast iron skillet, our meat chopper, a knife, and a spatula. Not too much to put this together. Now, I already went ahead and threw the meat into the bowl. We're going to start with our superfine mustard. I use a lot of it, so I decided just to take the lid off. Go ahead and put a heaping helping on there. Gives it a nice tang to it and evens out with the taste of the chili powder and the smoked paprika. And the garlic we will add later on. Go ahead and add your paprika in there, just a little less amount than you put the mustard. You want it to even the flavors out, not overdo it. Say hello to our 11-year-old Marcus. He wanted to help out with this video today. As our videos go on, you will see more of our children helping out. He wanted to be able to do it, but chopping meat gets a little bit much, so I went ahead and took over. And as I was chopping, I realized something. I forgot an ingredient. Oh yeah, salt. All meat needs a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper in it. Now, we use the rainbow peppercorns in our fresh cracked ground pepper. It is phenomenal flavor if you are a fan of pepper, especially on steaks. Now, go ahead and chop it up, and get to your patty making. Me, with my FODMAP issues, I cannot eat garlic. So, I went ahead and made the burgers without the garlic in it, made my 2 patties, then we went ahead and added the garlic, and since I had meat all over my hands, I let Marcus pour the garlic on there. He likes a lot of garlic. Now, mix it up. If you have issues with any flavorings or spices, and everybody else in your family doesn't, this is how I would suggest that you make your burgers. Mix your meat, your tofu, whatever, with all the ingredients that everybody can have. Then pull out your patties. Then go ahead and add the ingredients other people can have and pull out those patties. And then if there's even more ingredients, do that and pull out those patties. It works wonderful. Everybody gets a fantastic burger and nobody feels left out. Now, I went ahead and skipped ahead to my pan already heated with butter melting. Put a few patties in there and put a cast iron skillet right on top. That weight pushes down the burgers, flattens them out a little bit more, gets a nicer crust onto them, and kind of helps steam the burgers while it's in there. I promise you, it helps with the flavor. Give them a flip, put it back on, and away you go. I didn't finish showing you how all the burgers were made. Same basic concept for all the burgers. I would just like to add, when you are done, scrape as much of the meat out of the pan as possible before you go ahead and put your butter in there to toast your burgers, or you're going to get cake stuff on your bread. It could get a little soggy. It's not always the best. Now, we went ahead and diced up all of our Roma tomatoes so we could start assembling our burgers. Now, you see how the pan is now in the back of the stove? Once you have your butter hot and melted, move it off from the hot burner, but leave the burner on. It helps even it out and doesn't burn your butter. Now, we're going to go ahead and put our mayo on here. You can see on the container it says gluten-free. This mayo cannot have a knife touch it that has touched normal bread. This is not vegan mayo. However, if you are looking for a vegan sandwich, you could do this with tofu, some vegan butter, vegan cheese, and vegan mayo, and it would work phenomenal. We're actually thinking about doing that in a future episode. Now, I put some vegan mozz and some vegan cheddar on this burger. Went ahead and buttered the top of the sandwich. Now we're going to pull our pan down, put it on the burner, flip our sandwich over, and put it in the hot pan. Then, go ahead and butter the top of your sandwich. There's no point in trying to butter it all while you're still on the cutting board. You're just going to get butter all over your hands and crush your sandwich. Now we're going to go ahead and assemble our second sandwich. Same idea. Nice heaping helping of mayonnaise on it. We're big fans. If you like Miracle Whip or anything else, you can use any other topping you want. If you're not too worried about the dairy, ranch dressing works really well on this. Now we got our vegan mozz, our vegan cheddar, our burger patty, and I like the tomatoes. I put one on either side, so when I later go ahead and cut the burger in half so I can eat it, I have a whole slice of tomato on each half of my burger. Butter our top again, flip it over, put it in there, butter the top of my bread, and then I realized I was missing something. There was one item I forgot when assembling my burgers, and that is a lid. You need a lid to go over your burgers for a few reasons. One, it traps steam in there, helps melt the cheese very nicely. Two, the steam helps kind of heat up the bread, keep the bread nice and soft, even though you're getting a crisp outside. It gives you a nice little bit of a soft inside. And it puts weight on the burgers, kind of pushes them down, helps get a little better crust on the bread, and flatten your burgers out too much, because if you're like me and have jaw issues, you don't want a giant burger, you want something that's nice and easy to bite. Now they're cooked down enough, so we're going to go ahead and give it a flip. Make sure you don't touch your fingers to that hot pan. As you can see, it gives a nice crust to that bread. Oh, those were good. Now, I'm assembling another sandwich, gluten-free bread again, but to show you that it isn't too hard to do this on any bread. Now, yes, we had a nice loaf of bread for the first two, but you can do it on regular white bread, be it gluten-free or regular bread. Just give it a nice stack, give it a nice smoosh down, and you are ready to go. Now I finished the burgers and realized I never pulled out a plate, so excuse me while I fidget with things so I can get that plate down. We're going to go ahead and scrape those up, move them, and I knocked the lid off, which isn't too bad. Just pop it right back on, put it on the plate, and you are good to go. Here's a few pictures of the burgers. They turned out phenomenal. I am a big fan, and the whole family loved them. We will be doing this again. I made 6 or 7 that time. So you can see the cheese melts nicely. There's a nice crust on the bread, but it's still hearty, thick bread. Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned for more episodes coming soon. We love you all.